very much. It's a great privilege to have shared the platform today with so many excellent speakers. Great to hear Eileen Flynn rouse the crowd up. I was watching on Monday night, and I don't know how many of you saw it, Behind the Walls, an excellent programme by Mary Rafferty, who showed us what the old days looked like. The days when people with special needs and mental health were neglected, excluded and forgotten. And I think for many of us here today, we all know that we do not want to go back to those old days of long corridors and dirt and cold and neglect and abuse, and we won't stand for it. Today all over Ireland in child psychiatry clinics and health clinics, calls are coming in from parents who are having their applications for SNAs and resource teachers turned down because they're told the reports aren't correct or don't have the correct criteria. Often those messages are being sent out by principals. Behind the principal is hiding an SDNO, behind the SDNO is hiding the National Council for Special Education, behind them the Department of Education, and behind them hiding is Rory Quinn and the Fine Gael Labour Party. It is evident to all of us that these cuts are not okay when Rory Quinn says everybody will be cared for. As recently as last week, there was a letter into the paper of a parent whose child can now only get 1 hour a day education because there are not enough SNAs. Don't let anybody tell us that this does not cause real harm, cause real distress to children, real behavioural and emotional problems, real failure to acquire the most basic but so important skills of conversation, of social interaction, even of just movement and coordination. These are vital skills. These are not add-ons. We won't stand for these being cut back. And for what? Every day is like Groundhog Day. We wake up to be told that Greece is in danger of default, or Portugal, or Ireland, or Italy, or Spain, and some bank has a credit crisis, like the French banks this morning. And then we're told about the bank bailout. And what does that have to do with us? What that has to do with us is that it's the cuts in our services, the cuts in the pays for our public servants that are going to pay the gambling debts of the banks, and we won't stand for that. They are bankrupt. They are bankrupt not just in financial terms, but they are morally bankrupt. Their methods are driving people onto the dole queues, onto the emigration boats and planes. And what evidence do we have as well that they're morally bankrupt? We have this demonstration today. This shows how morally bankrupt our government have become when they pick on the most vulnerable in our society. And I'll read you a quote. How about this for a quote? We will protect as a priority the people with disabilities who are most vulnerable to cuts in public services. Who said that? The Labour Party said that in their manifesto of February of this year. By March they were in coalition with Fine Gael, and it seems by September they have become Fianna Fáil. Now, to finish, I have my bias. I see them here today. The Richard Boyd Barretts, the Claire Dailies, the Mick Wallaces, the Joan Collinses, the Seamus Healys. They are my bias. We need more of them, but they need more of us. And they need us on the street, because without us, they have no power in there. We need to come back, demonstrate against the IMF, say enough is enough. October the 8th should be our next date. We need to get back here and say the IMF cannot get our money and give it to gambler bankers. We are going to defend our children. It does matter. We do not stand or tolerate any of these cuts for bankers, and we stand beside everybody else who is having cuts in public services, because together we stand, divided we fall. We've got to fight on against these cuts in education, in health, in welfare, until this government is gone and we have people power in the streets with the proper morality of where money should be spent on children and not bankers.